Hey, it's the Toaster Party, and here we are with the first ever episode of The Budget is Toast. And this is a series where I'll be covering decks that don't necessarily fit into the budget category, but they're still decks I want to showcase anyway. In this first episode, I'm going to cover one of my personal decks, Zoodiac. Zoodiac is a very fun archetype where the main deck monsters can be used to make one-card Xyz monsters, most importantly which is Trident, which was the bane of Yu-Gi-Oh! Existence in 2017. But without further ado, let's go into the cards. First up, you have 3 copies of Thoroughblade, one of the potential combo starters and one of the best cards to shove under your Trident if that's what you're keeping on field. 3 copies of Whiptail, a card that increases the attack of the Zoodiac, or that can be quick effect attached to a Zoodiac from your hand to increase its attack. It can be also really good for OTKs because it attaches also from field, so you normal summon it, attach it to whatever Zoodiac you're going to attack with next. And then the one strange one copy of Cockaroost. Cockaroost is a monster effect negator. I particularly am just playing one of these because normally people have been teching in something like 1 copy of Bunny Blast, but I think Cockaroost is a little bit better this format and you just really want to make your Zoo boss monsters. Then you have Ram, the combo enabler, and Rapier, the 1-card combo. This deck does have a combo, which is pretty neat, that involves either having 1 copy of Rapier does it, or a copy of Thoroughblade and Ram also does it. I think also something in Barrage does it as well. Then you also have the most important part of the deck, the hand traps. We are on, I believe it is 11 hand traps. This is probably a little low for what might be supposed to be ran right now, but this deck can afford to run lots of hand traps because the starting engine is just so small. As you can see here, you have 14 monsters that you actually intend to summon. No, oh, shoot, I said that wrong. It's 11 monsters. It's even less. So you have 3 copies of Ash Blossom, just really good for stunning your opponent out. Ghost Ogre, just really good this format. Effect Veiler, it's your 4th and 5th copy of Impermanence. 3 copies of Pot of Desires, always a good draw. And the 3 copies of Pot of Avarice. The deck. This is indeed the deck where Pot of Avarice is at its best because your main lines almost always dump 5 cards into the graveyard, and you're just going to use it to draw 2 more hand traps probably, or just other stuff for next turn. 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone because we can afford to run 2 copies of back row removal, good against stuff like Mystic Mine. I say that first because it always just shows up at random. Also good against Eldritch. It's just good to have some form of back row removal in the deck, and Cyclone's just the best one there is right now. 1 copy of Raj. Sadly it won, but if it wasn't, this deck would be a lot better. But it allows for a lot of combo play to really good setups. And 3 copies of the search card for all of your Zoodiac. This will probably be either used to search up a copy of Rapier or Whiptail most of the time. 3 copies of Impermanence because we need as many hand traps as possible. 3 copies of Zoodiac combo because you want to be able to attach stuff like Whiptail to your monsters, because Whiptail has a secondary effect to banish something that it's battling after combat if it's attached to a Zoodiac monster. And 3 copies of Judgment because this is a control deck. In the extra, we have a copy of Tornado Dragon and a copy of Abyss Dweller. I have never made either of these. 2 copies of Tiger Mortar, the 3rd best Zoodiac monster, and very integral to the combo. Actually, I'd say tied for 2nd best. It lets you attach one from a Zoodiac monster from graveyard to 1 Zoodiac Xyz monster you control. So you essentially just get to pick and choose what gets to be under your Zoodiac monsters while you have this. Hammer Kong, you run 1 of them because it's another Zoodiac name, and because its secondary effect to make it the only thing that can be targeted is sometimes relevant. 3 copies of Chakanine, the other 2nd best Zoodiac monster. It's a monster reborn, but you can't use the special summon back Zoodiac monster that you use with this effect as an Xyz material, and its effects are negated. This is a very integral part of the combo that you need. And then you have the most important one of all, Trident. the one that made the combo good to begin with. I can almost tell you what the combo is, but we have just one more Xyz monster before I can tell you the important end of the combo, if you don't know it already. Then you have Borbo, it's just another name. And then you have the big combo Ender Piece, Infinitrack Fortress Megaclops, which is just immune to all monster effects except by those of Xyz monsters, and can't be destroyed by battle except with Xyz monsters. Some decks just cannot get over this card, and it is an amazing boss monster. So the main combo that this deck has, it uses Dryden, Chalkonine, and Tiger Mortar to be able to make the Infinitrack Fortress Megaclops. The way this is accomplished is normal summon Ratpier. Ratpier pitches Ram, then you turn Ratpier into Chalkonine. Chalkonine then reborns the Ram. Chalkonine then becomes Dryden. Dryden then pops Ram. Ram's effect activates, putting back the Chalkonine on the field. You turn Dryden into Tiger Mortar detach Dryden to attach to the new Chalkonine. Then use Chalkonine to then resummon Dryden from graveyard, making Megaclops. You run 2 because the combo can be done more than once, especially if you have Pot of Avarice. Then you have 1 copy of Phoenix because generic back row removal is good. 1 copy of Fighting Darumidol, again, back row removal is good. And then 1 copy of Gravity Controller. Sometimes it shows up. Onto the side deck, you have 3 copies of the Winged Dragon of Raw Sphera mode. I'm running this one instead of Nibiru because A, I don't actually have copies of Nibiru. But B, well, Nibiru can be negated. This one, it's a tribute over things, and while you don't get your battle phase really, but you don't really tend to OTK with this deck. You have the last copy of Cyclone because Eldritch is a thing, 3 copies of Twin Twisters, 2 copies of Mystic Mine. I'm sorry, but sometimes you have to go second, and you can just sit on 1 monster a lot in this deck, and there's no real good excuse. It's just you kind of need to play something. You'd either run this or Dark Ruler No More, and I don't have Dark Ruler No Mores either. 3 copies of Evenly Matched, a card that I do have. It's basically a less good version of Lightning Storm, but it helps clear out back row decks and clear out entire fields once you've baited out all the negation. And 3 copies of Goes in Match. Sometimes you have to play a Floodgate, and in this format, this one seems just a bit better than some of the other ones you could be running right now. And your combo does not get touched at all by this because all Zoodiac monsters, as well as the Infinitrack Fortress Megaclops, are all Earth types attributes. And, well, that's all I'm going to be talking about today. I will be setting up some replays of this deck that I should be uploading sometime soon. Hope you'll enjoy, and I hope you have a great day.